welcome to Hoop Shooting the Breeze, our show all about the hoop shoot. Each episode, we catch up with past participants, volunteers, and other friends of the Hoop Shoot program. My name is Nathan Springberg, and joining me today is George Domedion, Plant City Elks Lodge number 1727's Exalted Ruler, Hoop Shoot Coordinator, and a few other positions in there as well. Welcome, George.
Nathan, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on, get to learn a little bit about Plant City and kind of, how you guys run your hoop shoot, since this is all about the hoop shoot. George, you've been involved with the program. Could you share a little bit about how you got started?
Yeah, so we had an elk that our lodge didn't do hoop shoot for a number of years. Then we had an elk step up, and he posted a few flyers around town, and we had a hoop shoot, and one kid showed up. So he left the Elks. And so it was time to find a new chairperson. Everybody was looking at me, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I guarantee you that I'm going to have at least 100% more participation than the last guy. So I figured I could at least find two kids. So I became the lodge chairperson. And once I started digging into it a little bit, I said, hey, this is a pretty cool program. I didn't really know a lot about it. And I got excited, and I hit the ground running, and here we are.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's funny that one kid, he just is like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm glad you stepped forward and took over control, because it really is about, putting your foot into that circle and giving it a shot and promoting the program and trying to get the kids to come. And there's a lot of lodges that find it challenging to get kids to show up these days with all the other stuff that they can be doing. What is it about the program that keeps you involved, and / what are some of your favorite parts about the program?
So it's the kids. I mean, I do my program a little bit differently. I do preliminary hoop shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I go to basketball camps, boys and girls clubs, after school programs, middle schools. I go seek out the kids. And so when you see those kids, when the good kids, they're always going to be good. But the kids that are only making one or two baskets, when they put that smile on their face, it makes it all worthwhile for me. It's just to see a kid know that he can do something just really is special. One of the most favorite parts for me is when there's a tie, and the pressure that's on the kids during a tiebreaker and the intensity that goes on in a hoop shoot. To me, that's pretty special. And when somebody ultimately wins, I mean, I feel like I'm that kid.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that tie pressure. There really is. There's a unique ability that the hoop shoot has to put that kid in that adverse spot. And it's really cool seeing them come through and overcome whatever emotions they have in that moment. But yeah, you touched on a little bit going to seek out the kids, which kind of leads me to my next question. Your lodge has done a great job growing the hoop shoot program, going from a reported 1 competitor in 2020 to reported 91 last year. What can you attribute that success to?
Footwork. I just had to go out. I decided after I looked at how our lodge had done it in the past and a couple other lodges, I said, I need to go find the kids. They're not just going to come. If you put a couple of flyers up around town, they're just not going to come. Yeah. There's too many other things for kids to do these days. Their parents got them going 18 different directions. You got to go out and find the kids. So I determined that I was going to. So the first thing I did was reach out to the summer basketball camps, to the coaches. Once you explain hoop shoot to anybody, they're on board. So all the coaches got on board. The directors of the Boys and Girls Club, they got on board. The middle school teachers got on board. So once you gather those people, then it's just, now doing preliminaries is not an easy job, because I did, I think, 8 or 9 preliminaries this year already. And it's work. And you got to have people show up to help to make those functions happen. Yeah. So it's not an easy job, but once you can get out into the community gives back to you.
I do want to touch on that preliminary. I'm wondering, do you go to different schools for that, or how does that work for your preliminary?
So what I do is as soon as school gets out at the end of May, I start with basketball camps. That's usually the first thing.
Okay.
And so I'll go to a basketball camp and I'll have, I've already talked to the coach. They allow me to talk to all the kids. They give me a minute or two. I explain what hoop shoot is. We pull the kids out maybe 3 at a time during the summer camp. We take them to another basket over on the other side of the gym. We let them warm up, and then we have a little mini hoop shoot. And so they all shoot. And then when those 3 kids are done, I get 3 more. So I don't really interrupt the class, but
Right.
and so it may take me 4 hours to go through 30 kids doing it 3 at a time. But so then I gather all their information up. I just get their basic information, their name and their parents' phone number at that point. And then I move on to the next thing, which might be a summer camp at the recreation center. And then I go to the Boys and Girls Club. And so I don't tell anybody they're invited to my lodge hoop shoot pretty much till I'm done with my preliminary shoots. And then I take the cream of the crop and I'll pick 3 kids in each age group, maybe 4 if there's close. And I invite those kids to my lodge hoop shoot then. So
That's interesting, and it's really nice to have you touch on that, because I do think a lot of lodges struggle with participation and don't really. The preliminary is a weird thing. If you can do it, it's great to have it, but some are unable to do that. So I'm glad you touched on that and like reaching out and taking the initiative to do that. It's really good stuff. Moving along here, do you have any goals for the Plant City Hoop Shoot in the next couple of years that you?
Well, I want to break 100 kids. That's my first goal. This year I only got to 97. In fact, my hoop shoot is this Saturday, my local shoot.
Yep.
So my main goal is to break 100. I've always wanted to do that. Part of my problem this year became a time constraint. I'm also the ER of my lodge, and it's very time consuming. So I couldn't quite get out as much as I wanted to, but I still reached a lot of kids and a lot of families this year. Building the relationship with the city is key for me. And knock on wood, I've done very well. The city of Plant City, the mayor, the recreation department. I'm sitting at the facility where we hold our hoop shoot, the Sadie Gibbs Martin Community Center. They bend over backwards to help me. They give me this gym for free. I'm sitting here for free today. They close their gym down for me for an hour so that I could do this. But when I have my hoop shoots, they shut it down from 8 o'clock till noon, and they give it to me for free. And you got to build the relationships. And so I need to build, if I could build with some more community members, because having the city on board is huge, and having Sadie Gibbs Martin Community Center is huge. But there's a lot of people in the community that could help this program, help it grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great perspective. I love that. What's something about your contest that you take pride in or is unique?
So I take pride in, when I first got this job, I watched all the videos. I try to do it exactly like they do at the national level. I make everybody wants to cheer at the local level. I said, no, you can't cheer. We'll cheer for all the kids at the end, because that's the way it's going to be. The farther down the line you go, the more intense it gets. So I like that. I like the fact that I take the time to go to my state and I borrow all their signage. You can see it behind me. So when the kids come into my competition, it's just like they're going to a state competition. I pride myself on making it the real experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I love the signage. It's very well put together. Good stuff. So what advice would you give to a new lodge director that maybe hasn't done this before, wants to start up a contest in the community, but the community hasn't had a contest recently? What advice would you give for them?
Yeah, so you get a couple of you need to connect with the the
Yeah.
powers to be in the city, the mayor, the recreation center, the parks and recreation. Without that, it's pretty tough these days. It's getting into the schools is the hardest thing. I had to actually go take a test and go through a background check to even be able to go into a school.
Wow.
Used to be in the old days, if you knew the principal, you just walked in.
Yeah.
But with things the way they are today, it's a little tougher. So you got to make a relationship with the community, and you have to go out and find the kids. They are not coming to you in this day and age. It is much different than it was 20 years ago. So you have to be willing to find the kids and work with the community.
That's those are definitely 2 points that, and we've heard a lot about the school issues. It's a lot harder to get into schools these days, but if you can, it is a game changer for your program.
Absolutely.
So that's good. What's the most memorable moment you've had so far as the Plant City Hoop Shoot coordinator?
So it was my very first year and my very first preliminary. And I had a young man that made like 22 baskets. So I called his dad and said, I introduced myself. I told him I'm with the local Elks Lodge in Plant City, what we were doing, what his son did during the day at the basketball camp. And I said, I'd like to invite him to my lodge hoop shoot. He says, well, that's great, but we're moving to Georgia in a month. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I said, look, this kid is so good. Let me find a lodge in Georgia for you that's going to be near where you live. When you get up there, you need to connect with them and get your kid in the program. He said, okay. So I called her. I went on and found the close. There was 2 lodges close. I hooked him up with the Valdosta Lodge. Excuse me, not the Valdosta. I can't think of it. But anyway, so he gets hooked up with the lodge, and the kid goes on. It was Brendan Smith. He went on the national championship. I could have had him my first year a national champion out of Plant City, Florida. And
wow, I did not know that.
Oh yeah. So I sent him up. I hooked his parents up and him up with that lodge. It's escaping me the name of the lodge. I'm sorry, but so anyway, he won the national championship. So his parents still have a house here. So like last year, he came back for my local hoop shoot, and I had him talk to all the kids for 2 minutes and tell them about his experience and how it changed his life and what it's like to have your name in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And the kids' eyes, I mean, they just, as he was talking, every kid was locked on him. So I was hoping to have him come to my lodge hoop shoot Saturday, but he couldn't make it. So we're shooting I'm the district chair also this year. So we're going to bring him for the district.
Oh, great.
That's the plan right now.
You'll have to send us some pictures or any videos if you get any from him visiting, because that's a great story. And Brendan, he was impressive.
Oh yeah.
He not flinch. He was swishing every shot. I could not believe it.
Yeah. Well, we went up to Atlanta and they had the booth set up there. And when Gail and I went up there, he's like family to us. And I just love that kid. And he's such a good kid. That's the best part. He's such a good kid. And I can promise you, he's going to be a good Elk one day.
Yep. I could see it. So last question here. Do you have any wise words for any future or present hoop shooters, some that may be competing here in the near future as your own contest, lodge, district contest coming up? Do you have any wise words for those individuals?
Yeah. So you've got to be gritty. You got to buckle down and practice. That's all you got to do. You talk to Brendan. That's what he shot at least 100 free throws every single day. Mm-hmm. And that's what you got to do. You got to make the commitment that you want to be better, you want to be a winner, and you will be. Yep.
And that is the main goal of the program, is to learn those habits, recognize that practice does benefit you. The free throw is a muscle memory game, essentially. You don't have to be super athletic to do it. So I always say that, anyone can do this. If you practice, you can you can certainly win. You're capable of achieving that. So thank you for those kind words, and hopefully some young hoop shooters out there will see that and take that to heart. Well, I appreciate you joining me today, George. We'll be back next month for another exciting interview, but before we sign off, we do have the December service scorecard to announce, a virtual engagement opportunity. The service scorecard combines service, the Elks spirit of volunteerism, and fun. Participants have the chance to win a $100 donation to the charity of their choice. Would you be so kind to share this month's theme, George? Or
Sure. December's theme is togetherness, connecting participants in service with family, friends, and community.